Hey there, Quickcasters, and welcome back
Yeah.
to a special Halloween edition of the show.
Ooh, spooky.
We're diving into a real-life horror story, the Burari deaths.
It's a chilling case.
Yeah.
Really unsettling, because it happened to a seemingly ordinary family.
Right, a totally normal family.
Makes you wonder, what really goes on behind closed doors,
So picture this. It's July 1st, 2018 in Burari, India.
Okay.
The Bhatia family is found dead in their home, and the scene is absolutely bizarre.
Not your typical crime scene?
No, not at all. 11 members of the Bhatia family,
Thank
from a
God.
teenager to an 80-year-old grandmother,
All found dead.
under mysterious circumstances.
Yeah, and get this, 10 of them were found hanging.
Hanging.
But not just hanging, they were blindfolded, hands tied, gagged.
Oh my gosh.
But the grandmother was found strangled.
It's like some kind of ritual, right?
It's a very strange scene, very eerie.
And to make it even creepier, the bodies were arranged in a circular formation.
Almost like the branches of a banyan tree.
Which, that has a lot of significance in Indian culture.
Deeply rooted in Indian mythology.
Adds another layer to this whole thing.
It does.
Now hold on tight because it gets even creepier.
Oh no.
Police found a diary at the scene,
A diary.
filled with these cryptic writings,
Oh.
suggesting something even more sinister might be at play.
Right, so it's not just the scene itself, but also these unsettling details,
Right.
It makes this case so intriguing,
Like, who were the Bhatiyas? What could have led to this terrifying end?
Were they some kind of secretive cult? A family harboring these dark secrets?
What could explain this horrific scene?
Well, from everything we've learned, they were a typical middle-class family, well-respected in their community.
Okay.
No obvious signs of financial troubles or any major conflicts within the family.
So they were just your average family going about their lives,
It seems that way.
which makes this whole thing even more baffling.
It does.
What could possibly explain this horrific scene?
That's the question that has haunted investigators and captivated the public for years.
Yeah.
To understand this, we need to take a closer look at one member of the family in particular, Lalit,
Lalit, okay.
the youngest son.
What's his story?
Well, Lalit becomes a central figure after his father, Bhopal Singh, passes away in 2006.
Okay.
He takes on the role of head of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And by all accounts, he handles the responsibility well, at least at first.
But something must have changed.
There's got to be more to it, right?
Yeah, there has to be.
You see, Lalit had experienced a couple of deeply traumatic events in his past.
Right.
As a young man, he had a motorcycle accident
Okay.
where he suffered a serious head injury.
Wow.
And a few years later, he was trapped inside a burning workshop.
Oh my gosh.
These incidents seem to have had a profound effect on him.
It's not hard to imagine how those kinds of experiences could, leave a lasting impact.
Yeah.
Do you think this is where things started to unravel?
It's difficult to say for sure,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a factor to consider. Remember that diary we mentioned?
Yes.
It was found near a small altar in the house.
Okay.
And the entries were handwritten, but not by Lalit.
Oh.
They were written by his daughters, dictated by him.
Hold on. Dictated. So he was telling them what to write.
Exactly. And here's the chilling part. Lalit claimed that he was channeling the spirit of his deceased father, Bhopal.
Wow, okay. This is taking a very dark turn. So Lalit is essentially acting as a medium,
You could say that.
having his dead father tell him what to write in a diary.
But it goes deeper. The diary entries included instructions, commands for the entire family,
Really?
covering everything from daily routines to major life decisions.
So essentially, Dad's ghost was running the show from beyond the grave.
That's how Lalit presented it.
Wow.
And what's even stranger is that the family's fortunes seemed to improve after they began following these instructions.
Oh, wow.
Their businesses saw an uptick, the children's grades improved.
So they were seeing real, tangible improvements in their lives.
It is, and it's likely that these positive changes reinforced their belief that Bhopal's spirit was guiding them through Lalit.
Right.
It created a kind of feedback loop, strengthening their faith in Lalit and his connection to the spirit world.
But wouldn't it give Lalit a lot of power, a lot of influence over the family?
Absolutely. It raises questions about his intentions and mental state.
Yeah?
Was he genuinely delusional, believing he was communicating with his father? Or was he consciously manipulating his family?
Right.
It's a question that continues to be debated.
So how does the banyan tree imagery fit into all of this?
That comes into play in the final diary entries. They describe a chilling ritual called the Ritual of the Banyan Tree.
Okay.
It involved the family replicating the structure of a banyan tree with their own bodies, mirroring how the branches grow downwards and take root.
Oh, wow. And that's how the police found them.
Yeah.
But wait, weren't there 11 pipes sticking out of the house?
Yes, that's another eerie detail that aligns with this ritual.
Right.
7 of the pipes were normal, while 4 were pointing downwards, just like the 11 members of the family, 7 men and 4 women.
This is all so unsettling. Do you think Lilith orchestrated all of this, including the pipes?
It's hard to say for certain. The workers who installed the pipes claim that it was simply a matter of laziness, not any deliberate symbolism.
Okay.
But the fact that it mirrors the events that transpired so closely is, well, let's just say it's a chilling coincidence.
It's like something straight out of a horror movie.
It really is.
The symbolism, the ritual, the diary. What did the police make of all this? Was it an open and shut case?
Not at all. It was anything but straightforward.
Really?
Several theories emerged during the investigation.
Ew.
Initially, the police suspected foul play. I mean, the scene was so strange, so meticulously arranged,
Right.
that it seems almost impossible that the family could have done this to themselves. You can understand why, right?
Yeah.
But as they delved deeper, they couldn't find any evidence of forced entry, no signs of a struggle, nothing to suggest that anyone other than the family was present at the time of death.
So if it wasn't murder, what other explanations were they looking at?
Well, with murder ruled out, the focus shifted towards a ritualistic suicide pact.
Okay.
And to be honest, a lot of the evidence seemed to point in that direction.
I can see that, right?
Yeah.
The banyan tree arrangement, the diary, Lilith channeling his dead father.
Right. It all has this really unsettling, almost cult-like vibe.
But did everyone in the family buy into this, even the younger members?
That's where things get a bit more complicated.
Okay.
There are certain details that make a straightforward suicide pact difficult to reconcile.
What sort of details?
Well, one of the daughters, Priyanka, was about to get married.
Oh, wow.
They had even had a big celebration just a few days before the deaths
Really?
to celebrate her upcoming wedding. Does that sound like something someone who's planning to end their life would do?
It's hard to imagine, right? Someone being so excited about their wedding if they knew they were going to die soon.
Exactly, and it wasn't just Priyanka.
Okay.
The entire family seemed to be in good spirits, making plans for the future. There were no signs of depression or desperation,
Right.
emotions you might typically associate with a mass suicide.
So if it wasn't murder and a suicide pact doesn't quite fit, what other options are we left with?
This is where the theory of shared psychosis comes into play.
Okay.
And it's the theory that many experts believe is the most plausible explanation for the Burari deaths.
Shared psychosis. Can you break that down for us? I'm not sure I'm
Um,
familiar with that term.
Imagine a powerful but false belief taking hold of a group of people, almost like a contagious idea spreading from one person to another.
Okay.
That's shared psychosis in a nutshell.
Okay.
It often happens within close-knit groups or families,
Right.
where the bonds are strong and there's a lot of trust involved.
So are you saying that Lalit, perhaps suffering from some sort of psychotic disorder stemming from his past traumas, might have influenced his family into sharing his delusion?
That's exactly what many experts believe happened.
Wow.
He may not have been intentionally manipulating them. He might have genuinely believed he was communicating with his father,
Right.
and that by following his instructions, the family would be protected or even blessed.
And remember how we talked about the family's fortunes improving after they started following the diary's instructions?
Yeah.
Well, that could have played a significant role in reinforcing their belief in Lalit's claims, right?
Precisely. Seeing those positive results would have made them more likely to believe what he was saying.
Right.
No matter how outlandish it might have seemed to an outsider, the line between reality and delusion could have become increasingly blurred,
Right.
especially with Lalit constantly reinforcing it.
It's also important to consider the role of culture and spirituality in this case, right? India has a rich history of superstition and belief in the supernatural.
Absolutely.
And this might have made the family more susceptible to accepting Lalit's claims about channeling his father.
You're right. Their belief system could have provided a framework for understanding and accepting these events, even as they became increasingly strange and frightening.
What about Lalit's wife, Tina?
Yeah.
She seemed to go along with everything. Was she a victim of his manipulation? An accomplice? Or was she caught up in the same delusion?
That's a question that has puzzled many people who've studied this case.
Yeah.
Some believe that she was initially a victim of Lalit's manipulation,
Okay.
gradually drawn into his web of delusion over time. Others suggest that she may have become an active participant, perhaps even helping to enforce the Bhopal persona and ensure the family's obedience to his instructions.
It must have been an incredibly difficult position to be in, to be caught between your husband and your family,
Yeah.
trying to make sense of what must have felt like an increasingly bizarre and terrifying situation.
It's truly a tragic situation, no matter how you look at it. This case raises so many questions about the nature of belief, the power of suggestion, the fragile line between sanity and madness,
It's both fascinating and deeply unsettling.
and the fact that it happened within a seemingly ordinary, loving family makes it even more disturbing. It's like this darkness crept in slowly, unnoticed, and ultimately consumed them.
Yeah.
It makes you think twice about, who you think you know,
Right.
and what might be going on behind closed doors.
Absolutely. The fact that we're still talking about this case years later,
Right.
it's a testament to how deeply it's resonated with people.
It's true.
It taps into some of our primal fears, the fear of the unknown, the fear of losing control, the fear of what might be lurking beneath the surface of ordinary life.
And it's a stark reminder that mental health is so important, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We never truly know what battles people are fighting.
We don't. This case serves as a tragic reminder that mental health issues can affect anyone,
Right.
regardless of their background or social standing.
Yeah,
The consequences can be devastating.
they can be. I keep thinking about the younger family members.
It's hard to comprehend how they could be drawn into such a horrifying act.
It's one of the most haunting aspects of this case, isn't it?
It is.
It raises questions about the power dynamics within families,
Yeah.
the influence of authority figures, and the vulnerability of young minds.
We can't overlook the role of belief, right?
No, absolutely not.
This family's faith, their cultural understanding of the supernatural,
Right.
might have made them more susceptible to Lalit's claims.
You're absolutely right. It's a complex interplay of psychological, cultural, and spiritual factors.
Yeah.
This case highlights the importance of critical thinking,
Right.
even when it comes to deeply held belief.
What can we learn from this tragedy?
Yeah,
How can we prevent something like this from happening again?
those are tough questions, and there are no easy answers. I think it starts with awareness.
Okay.
Awareness of mental health issues, the dangers of manipulation and undue influence, and, the importance of seeking help when we need it.
Right. We need to create a culture where these conversations can happen openly and honestly,
Yes.
both within our families and in society as a whole.
Absolutely.
People should feel comfortable reaching out for help without fear of judgment or stigma.
I completely agree. We need to remember that mental health is just as important as physical health.
Right.
We wouldn't hesitate to seek help for a broken bone, so why should we hesitate to seek help for a broken mind?
Well said. This case serves as a stark reminder that we all have a responsibility to look out for each other, to listen to our loved ones,
Yeah.
and to seek professional help when things seem amiss.
Our deep dive into the Burari deaths has been a sobering exploration
It has.
of the complexities of human behavior, belief, and the fragility of the human psyche.
For all you quickcasters out there, we hope this Halloween special has given you chills and something to think about. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the dark side of reality. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Could something like this happen again? How can we safeguard against shared delusion and manipulation? We want to hear from you.
And, as always, stay curious, but stay safe.